All right, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Big waves to you. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right. Well, in honor of us talking about the word selfish, and I might have stuck my foot in my mouth a little bit because I said, I mean, not that y'all would make that your word for the year. And Andrew was like, no, 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 which told me that it's definitely a word for the year for some people. So we're going to look at it this morning. Okay. And let's dive into a different part of selfish. Okay. And actually, selfish was one of the things that led me to being intentional this year that we talked about yesterday. But selfish, and we didn't see any birthdays today, first of all. So if it's your birthday, please let us know in the comments or send Andrea a message so we can recognize you. We would love to celebrate you today. So if you look at the definition of selfish, it says selfish is commonly defined as being concerned primarily with your own interests, needs, desires, without regard to anybody else. And so I think that's what comes to mind when we say selfish. Um, but so sometimes it does have a negative connotation. I mean, people think of it negatively, but when used with intention, selfish means protecting your time, energy, boundaries, prioritizing your growth, well being, success. I'll share this with you. We were talking about this. I was talking with Peyton about this, my son, and a gentleman was talking the other day, and he was talking about how he's grown. And I'm going completely off script, but I think this will make sense. He was talking about back before when Facebook was just becoming Facebook, and he saw an opportunity. And there was a guy out there that was thriving at Facebook with doing videos and things, and his name was Gary Vee. And so he asked Gary Vee for 2 hours of his time. What would 2 hours of your time? I'd like to fly to you and would you give me 2 hours of your time? The guy had done nothing. Gary Vee said $10,000. How many of you would say that's selfish? He should have just done that for free. But what Gary Vee did is he set a boundary and said, absolutely, I will share with you $10,000, fly out here, blah, blah, blah. The guy did it. The guy now today, whether you know him or you don't know him, or you follow him or you don't follow him, doesn't matter. The guy's name's Eric Worre. Eric Worre launched GoPro from that sit down with Gary Vee that cost him $10,000 for 2 hours. That the majority of the world would said Gary Vee was selfish because he charged for those 2 hours. I'm gonna go back to the word selfish. When used with intention, being selfish means protecting your time, energy, boundaries, so that you can prioritize your growth. Gary Vee grew, but Eric Worre launched GoPro, which turned into hundreds of millions of dollars. What's my point? All being selfish, and I'm really relating it to your business. Like in business, being selfish doesn't mean disregarding your team. It just means you're prioritizing your goals. You're setting boundaries. You're setting time throughout the day that you've got to have to do the things you need to do. And you're okay to say no. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say, let me think about it. And so I studied this a little bit and I said, what is the problem for most entrepreneurs that are growing a business? And just so you know, if you have your own business, you're an entrepreneur. Most entrepreneurs really struggle saying no. So they just say yes to everything and run. And they look up, and here's what happens. Here's stats: burnout, decrease focus in areas they need focus in, and a lack of confidence because they feel like they're out of control. So here's my encouragement to all of us this morning, and I'm talking to myself, is be selfish with you. Not that you're not going to give attention to the team, not that you're not going to give attention to your family, but that you've got the things that you need to do and you set those parameters around them. Okay. And when someone comes and asks you for an hour or 2 hours of your time, you might not charge them $10,000, but intentionally go, hey, I need to think about it because I've got a lot going on and I need to prioritize when I can do it and give yourself the freedom of going, that's okay to do. That's okay to do in business, right? So that you can grow, so that you can flourish, so that you can, it'll boost your confidence. It'll increase your focus. And most importantly, it will up the chances that there will not be burnout for you. And the whole role of an entrepreneur is to work from year to year to year to year without burnout. Okay? How many of us have said, and I'm going to turn it to Andrea, oh my gosh, I'm so overwhelmed. I'm this and I'm that. And then you look at somebody, whether you like him or not, it doesn't matter. Donald Trump. And you go, that dude has been in business a long time and he apparently he hasn't burned out. Warren Buffett, right? So many other people we can lean to and look at and go, how? I bet it's because they were able to learn how to be selfish around their parameters. Okay. So that's my thought today. Andrew, I'll turn it to you.
Okay, so I've got to say, guys, I almost don't want to admit this, but it's true. This is my word of the year. So that, and I had told you, Coach, but I feel like it's a little crazy. And this word came to me probably a month ago. And I went, oh my gosh, who could pick selfish as their word of the year? And so I thought some more about it. I thought some more about it, thought some more about it. I prayed about it, thought some more about it, wrote a bunch of things down, like really, really struggled with this. And I'm like, I remember the conversation that I had with Coach, and I said, the word that I'm thinking is like the craziest word ever. I don't even know if I can do it. I think the word is selfish. And then I just kind of bebopped away going, oh, can I really? But you know what? I think I need to. And for all of the reasons that Coach just talked about. And I think what we struggle with is that I feel like, well, I'm a mama, right? Like I'm a mom, the kids got to come first, and I'm a friend and they've got to come first, and I have a team and they've got to come first, and everybody has to come first. But then guess who doesn't have any room on the plate when I do all of that? And it's me, right? And I don't know if I'm the only one with this, so I hope I'm not the only one with this. And it feels a little embarrassing, a little bit. I don't know. I have that feeling in the back, like where I'm like a little nervous right now. I'm sweating more than usual, but this is the word that I'm going to try to rock this year. And with the theory of you can't pour from an empty cup. So we have to take care of ourselves, and we've got to put it in there. It's got to be at the top of that list so that we actually make sure that we do it. And so what I looked into is how we can start still being a good person, right? I still love y'all. I'm still going to be a good person, but how we can start being a little bit more selfish today. So first of all, we've got to block out off time for the things that are important to us. No guilt allowed. So one of my big things is I want to get a little bit more rest this year. Like sounds a little crazy, but if I need a little bit more rest, right? Wasn't blocking enough time off for that. So I've got to make this a non-negotiable on my calendar, that I make sure that there's 8 hours in the calendar so that I can sleep, right? I've got to put that on my calendar. I've got to take care of this body. So that means I've got to work out. Well, if I'm going to do that, it's got to make it on the calendar. So all of that, I've got to get on the calendar and not feel guilty about it, because I'll tell you, that can be a really hard struggle when we carve things out for ourselves. Sometimes we can feel a little bit guilty. Next, we've got to learn to say no and actually mean it. And I know, Arlene, every time I think of this, I think of you, and not because I want to say no to you, but because of that incredible book, The Best Yes. And it's by Lisa TerKeurst. And it talks about that every time we say yes to something, we're saying no to something else. And a lot of times when I'm saying yes to someone else, I'm saying no to me. I'm saying no to my family. I'm saying no to my future. So we've got to be really careful with our yeses and learn to say no, even when we really want to run around and tell everybody, yes, 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 I absolutely can. I absolutely can. I absolutely can. Right. Next, I've got to check in with my needs every day. So I've got to ask myself, okay, what does Andrea need today in order to feel good? What does Andrea need today to move towards my goals? What does Andrea need today? And actually get it on the list. Because I don't know about you guys, I spend a lot of time saying, what does everything else need? And I don't necessarily check in here to say what I need. So we're going to work on that. And then next, we've got to celebrate our wins. One of the things that can really help us is to take the time to recognize ourselves for the progress that we've made. So, it's it's day 3 of the challenge. Well, I made it through 2 days, so I can dance in my kitchen because I actually did it. And take those small moments that you do your self-development or you drink your water or whatever it may be, that you celebrate that for yourself. And then lastly, and this is a hard one, but it's trying to release that guilt for prioritizing yourself. And one of the ways that I feel like makes it a little bit more comfortable is if you kind of take yourself, crazy enough, out of the equation. So if you said, okay, if this was my best friend's day and I was analyzing it, I was looking at the day, I would say, oh, woman, that's a little crazy. You don't even give yourself a chance to sit down, or you didn't feed yourself well, or whatever it may be. But I'd go and I would talk to her and say, okay, maybe we can reevaluate some of this so you make sure you take care of yourself, but have that same conversation with yourself so that you can let go a little bit of that guilt. So that's what I had today. A little nervous this morning, but hopefully you guys don't think less of me after hearing my word of the year.
No, I think it was a great word. It was really good for me to look at it and really think about it. So, guys, we love you. We appreciate you. We hope you have an amazing hump day on this Wednesday, and go out. Let's make the world a better place because we showed up in it. See you guys.
Love you guys. Have a beautiful Wednesday.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Great
you.
word,
Ranger.
Ranger.
God bless you.
Computers
Okay,
need to
bye-bye.
be celebrated.
Bye.